Hi, I'm the Gentleman Cabbie, and in an age where we're permanently plugged into cyberspace, I'm on a mission to bring the art of conversation back to the streets of London.
My name's David, and I am a director of a recruitment company in the city.
What I'm trying to get a sense of at the moment is just how people who commute in London feel about people that go on strike, bearing in mind there's going to be another tube strike next week, I believe.
Yeah. Well, I've actually got a friend who is he works on the signals in Hammersmith. He's not a mate from school. He's a guy who drinks in the local pub, but I've talked to him about it recently, and I don't know. He was kind of telling me that really the problem is it's not so much the money, but it's the rotas that are coming out, and he's talking about how many weekends he has to work and all that.
So is that compulsory then? Will that mean they will have to work weekends?
Well, he was saying that it would be a difference between something like 4 and 7 weekends potentially in a row for him.
Right.
So he's happy to do the extra hours, but it's just more about the organisation of it. But I mean, I guess certainly as a director of a company, kind of think, well, have a conversation, have a debate, but striking, if any of my guys didn't turn up to work because they didn't agree with something, they'd be out. I think it's quite archaic, and I don't think the unions will last that long.
Right. I mean, so how do you feel about the right to strike then? Is it?
The thing is that obviously with TfL, obviously it's private, but government funded, and it's a monopoly. So you don't have. If it was a private company and there were people striking because they were being looked after or whatever, I'd actually get that a lot more.
Yeah.
I understand that more because. If you're TfL, you strike, the consumer, the customer has no choice.
And on that point, how have you managed to get into work then during the strikes?
Cabs, and I pay for cabs for my
Right.
staff. Unfortunately, that would be Uber most of the time.
Yeah.
They tend to be a little bit cheaper. But
have you had many experiences with Uber yourself? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Personally, I think it's a good thing. I think it's innovation.
Yeah.
I think I've spoken to lots of cabbies like yourself who, well, not like yourself, but who do the same job as you.
Yeah.
Who I think are a little bit just set in their ways, and they don't like the change, because it threatens them.
Yeah.
I really think that there must be some kind of innovation for black cab drivers. But also I do think that specifically there's a different product being offered.
Yes.
Uber drivers don't know where they're going, they use sat-nav, they can't go in the bus lane. For me it's a different product, and it depends on my priorities which I will use. But most people are motivated by price, and ultimately I think that means that something's got to give for black cabbies. I don't know. I think there's too many people driving around central London anyway. I'd rather see buses and cabs.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, the competition in the marketplace is healthy. I mean, where I would have where I have a problem with Uber is it operates in a very grey area, and there's a lot of debate over whether it actually operates legally. Most cabbies would argue that it doesn't, and it breaks a lot of regulations that we're forced to adhere to. But
also, it's a traditional monopoly.
It is
really the black cab.
I mean, there are very good reasons why. The black cabs, I suppose, are a monopoly, and it's regulated the way it is, and it's mostly to do with safety. And the reason why the knowledge was invented in the first place was because the topographical knowledge of cab drivers back in the Victorian days was so bad that it was they were ordered. It became legislation that you had to do the knowledge to offer a better service. So, I mean, you know, you obviously you pay for what you get, don't you?
Yeah.
Cheap does not always necessarily equal better. But
yeah, exactly. Oh, no, I agree, exactly. I think that's the whole thing. Different products, and it may be, I don't know, it may be that the area that black cabs operate ends up being shrunk, and it is a premium service in a smaller area potentially. Yeah. I also, for me, it's sort of my kind of business hat on. Tourists come to London, tourists like black cabs, it's iconic. It's good for tourism, it's good for money in London, and it's good for business.
Well, it's been fascinating talking to you.
Well, thanks, mate.
It's really great to have you taking part. Thank you for that.
No worries.
Thanks for watching The Gentleman Cabbie. Click the videos to see more great interviews, and don't forget to subscribe.